Welcome back to the Fitz Blitz here on 89.5 FM KZCT, OzCat Radio in Vallejo. Timmy Fitz bringing you the Blitz on this Monday afternoon. It's Monday, November 18th, 2019. Hope you're all doing well out there. We got a guest calling in here on the Blitz right now. We're going to bring in Brian Brownfield, Sports Information Director at Menlo College, as the Keel Haulers of Cal Maritime will be taking on Menlo, the men's team, this Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. at Cal Maritime. That game available right here on 89.5 FM KZCT OzCat Radio in Vallejo. Yours truly on the call this week. And so the women's team was in town this past weekend. Got the men's team from Menlo coming up this week. So it felt like the perfect opportunity to do something I've been talking about with Brian Brownfield since we actually met at the COSIDA conference in Washington, D.C. last summer. Brian, thanks for joining me on the Blitz.
Yeah, no worries, Tim. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here and finally getting to sit down with you for an episode of the Blitz.
Yeah, we had emailed a lot together, just on the business side of things when we need to send each other rosters, the stat files, and things like that when we played each other. Then we actually met at the conference in D.C. It was crazy. We, all the way across the country, COSIDA Conference, Washington, D.C., for a couple of guys who work at schools in Vallejo and Atherton to finally actually meet each other.
Yeah, it's really crazy how it takes, going 2,800 miles across the country to meet someone who you work about 50 miles away from. But, it was a lot of fun to meet you out there, and, great to see all the other sports information directors and athletic communicators from the NAI, the NCAA, and all of us getting to meet out there for really the first time. I know that was my first COSIDA convention. Was that your first one as well?
That was my first one, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of newbies going out there and getting to hang out and have a good time and get to learn a lot as well. I think that was one of the most exciting experiences about going out there to the National Harbor, was just getting to learn from everybody else, because you think the way that you're doing it is, a pretty top notch, and then when you see what everyone else is doing, you go, wow, actually there are a lot of other things that I didn't even think about. And so I thought that was a really valuable experience. And of course, great to meet you, put a face behind all the emails that we've been sending back and forth over the years.
Yeah, that was definitely a big learning experience for me too. And I am that guy that people will talk about sports being a copycat league. I'll fully admit I'll do that with SID stuff. I'll be like, ooh, I need to try that as well. And you've called me, hey, how'd you get the clock in the Wirecast and things like that we've bounced off of each other before. So that was definitely. I'll be back there this summer. You going to Vegas this summer?
Yeah, I should be making the trip out to Vegas. It'll be, I guess I'll drop this bomb on you. It won't be with Menlo College. I've actually just this past week accepted a position at St. Mary's College in Moraga, so I'll be a little bit closer to Vallejo, and
wow.
I'll probably be heading out there with the Gales instead of the Oaks. Wow,
that's crazy. Congratulations. My co-host Stephen Babb here as well right now. Congratulations, Brian. How did that all come about? What's this gig? Tell us about this one.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's a director of communications position. So basically, an SID. Be over there working with 8 of our sports for the Gales, women's volleyball, women's basketball, and baseball are the 3 big ones. And I will be the backup play-by-play broadcaster when Alex Jensen, who does a fantastic job with the Gales, when he's unable to be on the call, I'll be his replacement. So it's a fantastic opportunity to move up to the NCAA Division I level, and of course it's very bittersweet being a Menlo lifer, so to speak. Came to Menlo College as a student and then went right from being a student to a full-time employee. So it certainly is a tough decision to leave the family, but I'm definitely excited for what lies ahead.
Well, congrats again. Alex Jensen, I tried to hire him to replace me as the media director with the Vallejo Admirals, but he ended up getting a pregame gig with the A's. So, that maybe
that's right.
Maybe topped what I could offer him a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just a little bit, but it's worked out well for him, and it's worked out well for you so far.
So, talk a little bit about, I actually wanted to ask you that, being a Menlo lifer, going from student to employee there. Tell us about Menlo College in Atherton. Cal Maritime, very unique university in the majors and the lifestyle and that sort of thing. I wanted to find out what is unique for our audience here in Vallejo? What's unique about Menlo College down there in Atherton?
Menlo is a very special place here in Atherton. I mean, we're a very intimate campus, only 850 students, which actually this year is a record-breaking enrollment. We've previously been sitting anywhere between 700 and 750 during my years here. So it's a little bit larger than we're used to. We get about half the students on campus, and we have somewhere around 370 student athletes. A very, very highly regarded business school in the area. That's really all we have.
Okay.
We have business majors and we have psychology majors. And then, of course, a whole bunch of different majors that branch off of the management degree. We have, accounting, we have marketing, human resources, real estate, sports management, of course, which is what I majored in. And it's a very special place. If you're looking for that individualized learning experience, I know a lot of colleges try to sell you on that, like, oh, hey, we have a 13-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. Well, at Menlo, you're actually going to get that interaction, and you're actually going to feel like you belong as a part of the community. And it stood out to me as a student, and it made it a very easy decision for me to come back as an employee.
Awesome. So basketball is going in full gear right now. The non-conference slate has begun for college basketball at the NAIA level, and the Menlo Oaks women's team was in town, and I'll go ahead and say, Brian, you kind of look like yourselves. You look a little bit like the team that dominated the CalPAC conference for years, maybe had a little adjustment period going up to the GSAC, but have kind of started to look like the program you were in the CalPAC there. This women's team at Cal Maritime right now, banged up, some transfers still waiting for eligibility, so kind of the expected result that the women's team did dominate the Keel Haulers over the weekend. What would you say is kind of the scouting report on this women's team that we got to see at Cal Maritime on the campus on Saturday? Strengths and things they'll try to improve on as the year goes on.
Yeah, this is a different team for us than the last couple of years where we've gone to the NAIA National Tournament, and we've, a couple of years ago we made a run all the way to the Final Eight. Yeah. This is a different team. We are very, very young. I think our starting lineup, we have a couple of freshmen in there, and most of our bench players, they are all underclassmen. This past year, we lost our two All-Americans from the previous year. They both graduated. They counted for something like 40% of our total points from last year, like 35 points, 40 rebounds a game. Like, it's tough to make that up. So here early on, it's definitely a learning experience every single game. I think the goal for this team is just to continue to improve and get better and get game experience, because a lot of our girls just haven't had that yet. And after seeing the results up there in Maritime, wasn't able to tune in, unfortunately, but it seems like it was certainly a good result, but there's a lot to work on. We've still had something like 20 turnovers in the contest. Yes. We've always been a very high turnover team, so we always have to try and clean that stuff up. And I think also just working on finding the presence of another lockdown shooter. We have a senior guard, Anya Gomez, who is going to have to carry a load for us, and she led the team in scoring on Saturday. But other than that, we don't have anyone on the team who really has proven they can be a lights-out shooter, and I think that's going to be a very important piece for us moving forward into the GSAC, where last season we ended the conference with 6 teams inside the top 30 in the NAIA poll, so it's a very tough conference.
And got the men's team in town to play the Keel Haulers this Wednesday. Give us a little preview of the men's squad, what we think we'll see with the game right here broadcasting on OSCAT Radio this Wednesday.
Yeah, so far the Oaks are improved. They're 4-0 on the season. It's the best start that they've had as long as I've been here at the Menlo Oaks, so it certainly is exciting to see. One thing that's really stood out through the first 4 games is just how deep this Menlo team is. I don't know if we really have any players who are A-plus level talent, but we have a lot of guys on this team who are above average. We have a lot of B-level talent, and when you put them all together, we can throw any combination of 5 players out on the floor, and right now they're producing for us. And we're also getting a couple of seniors back from injury, John Payne and Jared Wall. They were banged up a little early in the season. They're starting to round back into form. And so I think it's going to be a good challenge. I know the Keel Haulers and Oaks always play tough whenever the two lock up, but I think for the Oaks in this game, a big key is going to be winning the rebound battle. We did that in our last contest against Pacific Union College, another CalPAC team. If we win the rebound battle, we put ourselves in position to win games. And we're an undersized team, so that's always a tough thing for us to do. But if the Oaks are able to win the rebound battle and kind of set the tone defensively early, I think Menlo is going to be in pretty good shape.
Well, thanks for joining us here on the Blitz today, Brian, and hopefully you'll get to tune in to Wednesday's game with yours truly on the call for without having to host a tournament this time. And I'm stoked we got to kind of break some news for you there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks for having me aboard, and I hope that we can do it again, maybe with a little bit more frequency in the future, since I'll be a lot closer towards you guys up there in Vallejo.
I would like that a lot, Brian. We'll talk to you soon, man. Congrats again.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. Take care.
That was Brian Brownfield, currently, for a little bit longer, Sports Information Director at Menlo College.
Wow, the Gales. That's awesome. That's such an awesome opportunity for him.
Yeah.
And the Gales, such a great school, great program. I have an aunt that graduated from St. Mary's, and their sports programs are always top notch.
Right. So moving up to the D1 level, he's a couple seasons ahead of me in the SID gig world. He left minor league baseball into this world a couple years before I did. So hoping it's just a couple years ahead for me too.
Don't forget us little guys there, Timmy Fitz.
I'll try not to. I'll try not to for sure.